There is a new technology coming up on the block, and you might think, what are the best stocks to participate in this new technology? Now, we know from the past, if a new technology is on the horizon, then there are some stocks that just outperform the market. And today we are talking about the top 5G stocks that I am watching, and I'm watching them very closely. I rather will go with you in details of this company and why they will rise, and not only of the 5G but the overall company as well. That's why stay tuned and let's roll.
Wolf of Dubai.
So one of the first stocks that I want to give you a glimpse of is Apple. Now, Apple is one of the stocks that created huge value, that created by a visionary of Steve Jobs, developed to a huge company and concern worldwide consumer products, and we just love the products. The iPhone is one of the most sold item ever produced, and the numbers are crushing just every single year. And the people are complaining a bit that the iPhone didn't got any revolutionary or innovative things in the last couple of models. Now we got like the iPhone X, now the iPhone 11. But there was not like big innovations. There was like Face ID, there was like reducing the home button, the new designs, but there was not a big change like it used to be. Like, for example, we had the 2G iPhone, which was the very first one, and then the 3G came out, which was a really game changer because it was the faster internet. You could, download really big files quicker, and we got the Apple Store much built up on 3G. Then the evolution of 3G was 4G, and now everybody is waiting for the next 5G iPhone, which could be released as soon as September already, because this is the cycle of iPhones to be released every year about September. Then they go on sales in October and November to not miss the holiday season, to have your new iPhone under the tree. Now, why Apple is such a great 5G stock? I believe that the 5G will not open only the additional and revive and further growth of the iPhone sales, but also will create new products. Now, the 5G will be so revolutionary that we can build products around this new technology. So the internet will be much faster. So you can imagine that the products that are building around that don't need to have maybe so much storage, because much can be done in the cloud, and therefore new technologies like AR can be developed further and can be developed really intensively on new products. And therefore I believe that Apple, as one of the most successful product designers and manufacturers, can have here a huge leap against other companies out there. So let's dive into the stock, because the stock made just a record last year. So if you're already an Apple investor, then congratulations on the last year. Now, if we are looking into the stock went from $153 to around $320. This is 107% gain. So congratulations for the last 12 months. And I have explained this in another video here on this channel, so make sure to subscribe as well to don't miss out on the other daily vlogs about stocks. This stock was a really value stock. The PE ratio was just around always 11, 12, 13. So this was always a great buy if you're looking for something stable, ever growing, and really cheap for the technology sector that they are in. However, through cheap money on the stock market and the overall push into all-time highs, put the stock at the PE ratio at 26.8 currently of this recording, and a market cap of 1.39 trillion. Now this is crazy. This number is absolutely crazy, and for the value of Apple, I believe this potential of 5G and new products can be at least $250 billion in terms of additional revenue over the next 5 years. This would add another 25% of value to the stock for sure, when not even more, depending which products will be developed overall to and around this technology. And therefore I believe that this is definitely one of the 5G stocks that should be on your watch list. And therefore let's dive into the next stock for 5G, and this will be a provider in the US. The next company that I think can be huge in 5G in one of the most developed countries, the USA, because the biggest and one of the biggest providers there is AT&T. Now, for years, AT&T was one of the forefront of telecommunication providers in the US and still is, though over the last couple of years they made some mergers and acquisitions that was not so fruitful, and this was the reason why the stock, somewhere glided at the same amount of value for a very long time. Now, recently something happened to AT&T. First of all, in the 5G race, they already providing 5Gs in certain areas. So I just checked the coverage in different areas. For example, Las Vegas is quite covered already. Los Angeles is covered partially. And this kind of cities in the US are already covered, and this is growing every single day. Now you can imagine this 5G needs lots of investments, and therefore also I believe that AT&T will have this on their balance sheet as expenses. So I think this is very important for a provider to have their own equipment around the cities to provide this 5G technology, because then they can also lease the same towers to other providers, and this gives them just an additional stream of revenue. And I believe that there is something more to AT&T. Now, just being on the forefront of 5G is one thing, but on the other hand, I think it has a huge potential as a stock company, because something happened. Elliott Management, a grasshopper company, just entered with a huge stake of around 20% into AT&T. Now, what does it mean? Elliott Management is a company that looking into potential clients or stocks that they can buy into, install a really good management, and then change the company, make it more profitable, hold dividends, and to make the stock price more up. They did it with eBay, and eBay rose from around $30 to $45, so 50% increase, and they want to do something similar over the next 5 years for AT&T. They want to push the stock price from around $40 to $60 within the next 5 years, and with that time, or within this time, they want to hold the dividend rate of beautiful around 6-7%. We will just jump into the stock in a couple of minutes. So you can see here there was really good things that will happen to AT&T. Also, they want to change some or maintain the effectiveness of the company and reduce costs. They want to stop merger and acquisitions, which was not good for AT&T over the last couple of weeks and months, and therefore they want to make the company more lean, and they have really experience in that. And I believe this can be a huge pusher next to 5G to bring and make your stock investment and success with AT&T. So if you're looking in the last 5 years of AT&T, as I said, the stock price was around 30 and it hovered, it went a little bit up to 20%, and then again down, then again up. So somewhere here it hovered over the last months or years. Over the last years, it hovered over the same value of stock, and then Elliott, it was announced that Elliott is jumping into the stock, and the stock went up from around 30 to almost 40. So that's around 20, 23, 25% increase just from the announcement that Elliott Management is going into this company. And the last quarter earnings was also quite positive, and then you can see that already the first months of Elliott inside AT&T is already successful. And let's jump into the last year. The last year alone, from around January until now, we got a 25% gain. This is a little bit less than the S&P 500, which did already like 30% over the years, so a little bit under the value, but something about the stocks makes me really feel good, especially when we go into the yield. Now the yield through the latest stock increase went a little bit down, but it was around 6-7% dividend yield. So imagine the following: if you are investing into the stock, you have the beauty about the 5G potential, you have the Elliott Management that will look for you to make their investment, also your investment, really sure and really important that the company will grow, be efficient, be lean, and focus on the main telecommunication business, which makes the money for AT&T. And then actually you will be seen that this company will grow, and then you have the potential of, if the plan of Elliott Management will be fruitful, then you can see a 50% increase from $40 to $60 per share, and you will be quite happy, because if, and this is the risk as an investor, you always have to look into the risk as well. The risk is if the stock don't go up and stay on these levels, for example, then you still have around 6% dividend yield from this stock every single year. So this is really the beauty about AT&T. And Elliott said one of the goals is to maintain the dividend goal on this stock, because in the end AT&T belongs to one of the most important dividend stocks on the market. Therefore, thank you for watching and see you tomorrow.